The number of Indians illegally migrating to
Concern how we're going to be able to cope, because we're not really coping now, are we?
gone up 60%. Girls are the ninth largest group among the illegal immigrants.
Students going to the UK have been dealt a blow. Most are no longer allowed to bring over dependents.
1,192 Indians arrived on small boats in 2023.
Well, students from India has dropped due to political tensions.
Immigrants. One word, but millions of emotions. Immigration is a process of migration from one country to another, a process which includes embracing a new culture. A form of immigration is illegal immigration, light and dark, right or wrong, illegal and legal. Welcome to Immigrants. Indian immigration tracks back to the 19th century. During the 19th century, East India Company brought thousands of workers to Britain, largely to work on ships and in ports. During the mid-19th century, more than 40,000 Indians had travelled back to Britain and back, bringing back knowledge and insight about Britain in the process. The 1931 Census of India had estimated the arrival of around 2,000 Indian students in English universities and an overwhelming male population of 9,243 South Asians on the British mainland. Then 1932, the Indian National Congress survey of all Indians out of India portrayed how 7,128 Indians were living in the United Kingdom. Following India's independence in 1947, numerous Indians started to move into the UK to study and work. By 1960s, Indians were one of the largest ethnic minority groups. Following the Second World War and breakup of the British Empire, Indian migration increased rapidly through 1950s and 1960s, partly due to the British Nationality Act in 1948, which enabled migration from the Commonwealth. Subsequently, the main growth and increase of Indian immigration from UK was monitored from the second and third generation of the Indian Britons. During the 1970s and 1980s was marked by an age of excessive racism and discrimination against Indians and other minority groups of South Asian, which led to the 1981 Brixton riots.
Children have been burnt. Not West Indians, black British. That is what I once said. They're burning our children.
The 1990s and early 2000s saw a significant rise of Indian immigration, dynamically due to economic factors and a demand of skilled workers in multiple industries. Today, UK is approximately around 1.5 million of the Indian community, making it the largest non-white ethnic group in the country. Through India's rich history in the UK, the first Indian immigrant was Peter Pope, who was brought into England in 1614 and was placed under the reign of Patrick Copeland, who was a chaplain who taught him English to read and write. Pope's education was funded by East India Company. On Patrick's recommendation, Peter was baptized on 22nd December 1616. After a few months, Peter returned to India with Patrick, and in his words, to convert some of his own nation. Overall, the main motives for Indian immigration were the economic well-being of returning migrants and the high conversion rate of English currency and cultural ethos, which are the most dominant and effective reasons for immigration into the UK. Many have contributed to the social, economic, and political aspect of the UK. One of the most prolific aspects in terms of political is Rishi Sunak being the current Prime Minister of the country, being the first Asian and youngest Prime Minister. According to our data, Indian immigration in UK served around 370,000 Indian nationals. The annual net migration has risen from 607,000 to 672,000 in 2023. The political and cultural landscape of the UK has truly been shaped by increased levels of migration. In 2021 census, UK gathered about twice the population of Montana to be of Indian ethnicity in England and Wales, making up 3.1% of the population. Immigration has been a process of true struggles for many individuals. Through countless stories, many Indians have been able to fortify their influence through numerous challenging stories.
My peers began to make fun of me for my non-Eurocentric features. They began commenting on my curly hair and my darker skin. They would call me names like Curry Girl, and I was once referred to as an untouchable, a term referring to the lowest level of the Indian caste system.
However, there's light and dark, there's illegal and legal. According to data, Britain has clearly seen a rise in Indians crossing over illegally into the country across the English Channel, with around 683 Indian men who were reported to have landed on the shores by boats. In terms of 2023, around 1,192 Indian people were seen arriving illegally. The impact of illegal immigration consequently affects the lives of these immigrants, such as lack of access to services, family separation, kidnapping, exploitation of labor, illness, death. Some of the most primary methods of illegal immigration include overstaying visa, illegal border crossing, and sham marriages. One of the most known aspects is through a term called donkey flight. Travel agencies exploit individuals' aspirations for foreign travel, promising visas in exchange for hefty payments, using fake documents and crossing the border illegally and traveling through countries. The positive impact of immigration includes more diversity, inclusion of culture, tourism being promoted, government tax revenue, creativity, and innovation. However, the negative aspects of immigration includes increase of population, more costs, expenses, blending and integrating with the common culture, and overstretching the local sectors of the UK. India, being one of the most populated countries in the world, has contributed in India and in UK in different manners in a variety of sectors. Being the world's most populous democracy, India has provided to be a key element of the rise in UK's economy. India is a country with numerous extravagant locations with each story, belief, symbolism, and significance. Being one of the most diverse nations on the planet certainly offers a lot for the future, such as education, trade agreements, and the migration partnership. Indian immigration is surely growing and evolving, benefiting employers and migrants, and thus creating a promising future. Today, the Indian community in the UK is estimated to be around 1.5 million, making it the largest non-white ethnic group in the country. Our story, a common story. Immigrants.